Hey everybody, Chris White here. Give me 1 second. I'm in the process of trying to go live here on Instagram. Let me see if I can get this figured out. Here we go. Okay, it says I am now live on Instagram. Okay, great. So, hey, Chris here, and today I want to talk to you about how to get passive cash flow investing in real estate. Now, this is going to be for you, even if you've never done a real estate deal in your life, and even if you wouldn't have a clue where to begin. And perhaps the best part is I'm going to show you how you can be banking passive monthly cash flow at 12% and have bulletproof protection for your capital in the next 30 days by making one little but one powerful twist to your mindset and your strategy. Okay. But before we get started, I'd like to ask one tiny favor that would really help me big time try to conquer the social media algorithm so that this valuable information can be seen by the most people. Okay. So it's super simple. All you have to do is either reply in the comments the word live if you're watching live, or the word replay if you're watching the replay. Okay. Apparently, what I'm being told by my marketing team is by taking just 2 seconds to make one quick comment, apparently what it does is it sends a signal to the social media algorithm, and it will boost this training to the top of the feed so that the most people will see it. And I would be super grateful for you doing that. So big thanks in advance for playing along. Now, one more housekeeping item. I am streaming this training across all of my social media platforms. So I've got multiple screens up in front of me. So if you see my eyes switching back and forth, I've got my Instagram people on this screen. I've got YouTube and LinkedIn, TikTok, and Facebook. Okay, so we are live across all of the social medias. So thanks in advance for your grace as I'm trying to give everybody here my attention. All right, so let's go ahead and let's dive in here. I'm going to assume that you're here because you've got capital that's either rotting away, sitting in a low or even a high yield savings account that you don't know what to do with. Or perhaps you're here because you've got capital that's underperforming in the market and you're frustrated by that because you don't have any other safe and secure options. So I'm going to assume that naturally you feel trapped into hoping that, everything's just going to turn around. And while feeling that frustration and that feeling of being trapped, your fear might be is that if you don't do something, there's not going to be enough time to recover from the losses that, inflation, rising interest rates, and the economic downturn are causing to your hard-earned money. Okay, so my goal today is to give you new insights and new perspective that very few people know about or even understand. And I'm going to give you this new insight and new perspective inside of real estate, which, as everyone knows, is one of the most safe, secure, and lucrative places to put your capital, right? Especially if you value monthly cash flow rather than having to wait for retirement. Now, you may be wondering, what's my motivation in putting this training together and doing this live stream with you today? Well, my motivation is twofold, okay? So I'm doing all of this for you so that you can finally have the confidence that you need to take new action and better action with your capital by placing it inside what I believe is the safest and most secure real estate strategy there is. Okay, so that's the first part of my motivation. And then the second part is that after today's short masterclass, if you're not interested in acting on this new insight and this new perspective on your own, my hope is that 2 of you would be interested in snatching up the last few spots that I have left this month to partner up with me and my team of elite operators on this little known strategy that I'm going to share with you together. Okay. So as we dive in here, I just want to encourage you to sit back, I want to encourage you to take out your notebook and get your popcorn ready, okay? Because I know you're going to get incredible and exciting, actionable value over our next 7 or so minutes together. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. Today, I want to share 3 big ideas with you. The first big idea I want to share with you is a mindset shift. Okay, here's the headline to the mindset shift. Money doesn't lead, money follows value. That might be the first thing you want to write down. Now, the lesson here is that when you can align your money with something that's truly putting value into the marketplace, then the money will always follow value. Makes sense, right? One of the keys to this idea is that you make sure the thing that's creating the value in the marketplace isn't just a fad or something that's going to be short-lived, right? Naturally, you want something that's safe, something that's secure, and something that has staying power so that your money can work over the long haul for you. This is why I love real estate so much, because it's never going away, and because the little known real estate strategy that I'm going to share with you today is in high demand, and there's very few people doing it. And among those who are doing it, there's very few doing it at the level of experience and competence that our team has. So just remember, money doesn't lead, money follows value. Okay. Now, one way to think of this mindset shift is think of it like a job promotion, right? In a job promotion, you're going to provide the value to your employer first, and then the money from the promotion follows. So the value is you doing a good job for your employer. When you do that, the money will follow. Awesome. Let's move on to big idea number 2. The second big idea I want to share with you is this little known real estate investing twist that I mentioned in my opening that tips the scales of risk and cash flow into your favor like no other real estate strategy. Now, I call this twist the banker's secret because bankers seem to understand what most people, especially landlords, miss in the real estate game, which is this. Bankers know that if you can control the money and have legal ownership of the property, all while shifting the responsibility for taxes and insurance and all the maintenance of the home over to someone else, what bankers know is that you can then increase cash flow and drastically reduce risk and, of course, headache. Okay. Now, the way to do this is you want to incentivize the person who is taking on the responsibility for the taxes, the insurance, and the maintenance. And the way you do this is you increase the value proposition for a person who thought they could only ever be a tenant, and you tell them they can actually become a homeowner. Now, the question is, how do you do this? Well, you use a legal document called a contract for deed. Now, this document is what this does is this allows you as the bank to still legally control the home, but at the same time tell the tenant when they fulfill the contract, they get the contract for deed. Okay, hence why they call it contract for deed. So what happens here is you win big by being in the banker's position without all the headaches that landlords are having to deal with when it comes to tenants. And then the tenant's going to also win big because they now have the opportunity to own their own home. Now, I want you to think of this real estate twist that I call the banker's secret, like Netflix in this sense. Okay. Here's the headline of how I want you to think about this twist. Same product, new delivery system. That's the headline. Same product, new delivery system. So in the case of Netflix, the product was movies and shows, which have been around for a long time. But the twist with Netflix was the new delivery system. And as you know, that one twist made all the difference. Okay, so that new delivery system, in this example, Netflix, that was the value and the money followed. So in our case, with the banker's secret, the product is real estate. And of course, real estate, as we all know, has been around forever. But the new delivery system in this case is the contract for deed, and that's going to allow you to play the role of the banker. And like the Netflix example, the contract for deed is the value that removes you from the landlord position, eliminating your responsibility for taxes, insurance, and maintenance costs, which only creates more cash flow and greatly reduces risk. All right, so that's big idea number 2. And then finally, I want to talk to you about big idea number 3. And what I want to share with you today when it comes to this idea comes from one of my favorite authors. His name is John Maxwell. And John Maxwell once said this. He said, 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. Now, the lesson here is simple. Okay, you can go alone. You can try to figure this contract for deed strategy out all on your own, or you can trust in the idea that 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. Okay, so I want to have some fun with you here for a quick second, and I want to play a trivia game with you with one question. Can you think of one person who has ever achieved greatness on their own? If you can think of that person, I want to encourage you to put that person's name in the comments below, all right? Because I've been racking my brain on this question myself, and here's what has come to mind for me, okay? So I've thought about Michael Jordan, one of the greatest, if not the greatest basketball player of all time. But when I thought about Michael Jordan, I thought about the fact that Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen. Okay, so Jordan didn't go alone. I then thought of Batman when I was thinking about this question. And as great and as awesome as we all know Batman was, Batman had Robin, right? The next person I thought about was Steve Jobs. He was great on his own. Oh, wait. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. I then thought of the great Sherlock Holmes, but Sherlock Holmes, of course, had Watson. I thought of, who else did I think of? I thought of the great navigator of the open seas, Lewis. But who did Lewis have? He had Clark. I even thought about Jesus, but Jesus had God, right? So the takeaway is that if achieving greatness with your investment capital is desired, and I'm going to assume we all desire that, the takeaway is don't go alone. In fact, I suggest you partner with a team of elite operators who are experienced in the contract for deed strategy, which is the Netflix of real estate investing. Awesome. Those are the 3 big ideas. As we wrap up here, I just want to give you a quick case study from a client of ours. His name is Matt. And Matt is a friend who chose to take advantage of the banker's secret and join forces with us in real estate investing. And so I'm going to flip some slides over here real quick to show you some case studies. Now, I do apologize. Those of you who are watching on Instagram doesn't allow me to show these case studies. So if you're interested in the case studies, just put in the comments on Instagram case studies, and I'll share those with you. But I'm going to go ahead and walk you through them real quick. So the first case study you can see here is that Matt gave us $68,000 to buy this investment property. We paid Matt 12%, and so he was getting, what would that be, $680 a month. You can see another case study here. Matt gave us $83,500 for this property. We paid him 12%. That's $835 a month. Third case study here, we gave Matt 12% on $109,000 that he gave us. So we paid Matt $1,090 a month. Case study 4, Matt gave us $82,000 at 12%. So we paid him $820 a month. Here's another $82,000 that Matt gave us for this property. That again was $820 a month. Matt gave us $142,700 for this property. At 12%, we paid Matt $1,427 a month. And the last case study I grabbed was this property. Matt gave us $148,000 at 12%. We paid Matt $1,480 a month. And in fact, I believe over the last several years, we're close to putting into the market close to $3 million of Matt's money. And so as you can imagine, this has been very successful for Matt. In fact, I've got a call scheduled with him this week to talk about our next deal together. So Matt clearly understands that 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness. And because of that thinking, Matt has made a lot of monthly cash flow over the last several years. So to quickly recap here, as we close things out, again, you're here because you've got capital that's either rotting away, sitting in a low or even a high yield savings account that you don't know what to do with. Or perhaps you've got capital that's underperforming in the market and you're frustrated by that because you don't have any other safe and secure options. So naturally, you may be feeling trapped into hoping everything just turns around. And if you don't do anything here soon, you might be feeling like there's not going to be enough time to recover from the losses that, inflation, rising interest rates, and the economic downturn are causing to your hard-earned money. And so instead, I gave you 3 big ideas. If you remember, big idea number 1 was that mindset shift that I referred to as money doesn't lead, money follows value. That was big idea number 1. Big idea number 2 is that little-known real estate twist that tips the scales of risk and cash flow into your favor like no other real estate strategy that I've seen, and that was called the contract for deed strategy. That's the one that puts you into the banker's position. And then big idea number 3 was that 1 is too small a number to achieve greatness, where I encourage you to align with a team of elite operators inside the strategy that's going to be best for you. And then I shared 1 case study of one of our clients named Matt. All right. So in closing, I'll just say, if you want some help with creating passive cash flow investing in real estate, even if you've never done a real estate deal in your life and you wouldn't have a clue where to begin, if that interests you, if that intrigues you, and you'd like to earn monthly cash flow at 12% returns, knowing that you're going to get bulletproof protection around your capital with results that we can help you start achieving in as little as 30 days, then I want you to comment the word cash flow in the comments below this video, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And then I'll reach out to you ASAP and we'll do a no obligation consult call. I'll answer all your questions. I'll talk you through every detail of our process and how we're able to buy off-market deals at deep discounts to create incredible security for your capital, which also creates that incredible cash flow. I'll kind of pull the curtain back and share all of that with you. And we'll see if working together on a deal or a few makes sense for both of us. All right. So thanks again for your time. Thanks for being here. Thank you for your trust. I want you to know I don't take it for granted. And I look forward to seeing you in the next training. Bye for now.